Hey fellow golfers, welcome back to Ali's Golf Studio. I thought that since I did a recent clip on Dustin Johnson, I really ought to do one on whom else but Brooks Koepka. He seems to have found himself again after his spate of injuries, winning the American Express recently with a new set of irons and having missed 2 or 3 cuts before. So nice to see him back. His swing is incredible. We'll do a quick visual analysis of Brooks Koepka's swing and see what elements we might emulate. First, in the setup, you'll see he has a very wide stance. He keeps that backward tilt, and he has a very straight V position of his 2 arms, even straighter than Dustin Johnson. On the takeaway, he stays very wide, both with his feet, and look at his very wide takeaway. He really has a very far-reaching amount of width, and that's what gives him this consistent long distances. You'll see as he turns on his takeaway, he keeps his left eye, as he's a right-hander, on the ball, looking at the ball. So he does move his head slightly, but his left eye stays firmly focused on the ball. If you're a left-hander like myself, it would be your right eye. His back leg pivots and acts as a very straight, strong pivot as he goes back. And his arms stay tight together. So that straight V, his arms stay tight together on the takeaway. He uses his back leg pivot to give him that strength, because very soon as he moves into the 3/4 and top position, he's going to move back onto his front foot weight. You'll see when his arms are parallel, at the parallel point, so not just that initial takeaway, but at the parallel point, he still has that huge width, and he has that huge cock. So as he starts beyond his takeaway, he has a huge width and a huge cock of his wrist. So it's not a bending like this of the wrist, but a cock of the wrist. So he sets up that lag position very early. Notice with Brooks Koepka at the top, he never really goes over parallel. It's really quite almost a 3/4 position. Partly because of that very strong pivot, that very strong width, he doesn't need to get his arms all the way around and his club parallel to the ground. In fact, it's almost a 3/4 position. So an interesting slight difference with Brooks Koepka compared to some of the other key golfers. His width remains. And look, just like Dustin Johnson, he's got that very straight arm at the top. Incredible, incredible. Of course, I'm demonstrating it as a left-hander. He's a right-hander. In the transition, he's already moved his weight onto his front foot. He still maintains that huge width, and he's got a massive lag that he started as he was beginning to go back up, and he keeps that lag through his transition almost down to below parallel, and he's still got those straight arms. So that issue of the straight arms is really interesting. I will do a clip soon on how to improve your swing with a little tool called tic-tac elbow that I'm starting to use, because I tend to bend my elbow as I go back to get width, because I'm not as flexible, obviously, as Brooks Koepka or Dustin Johnson. I wish. At the impact point, his right foot is off the ground, his weight is clearly on his front foot, but he's got that backward tilt, he's got those very straight arms, his eyes are firmly on the ball, and you'll see even through extension, an early extension, he keeps his eyes firmly on the ball, even more so than Dustin Johnson if you compare with the earlier clip. But that lean back with his face square at the ball, even though he comes down a little closed, at impact his face is square at the ball, and that lean back with the weight on the front foot, just like Dustin Johnson, gives him that power move. And those straight arms with that lag let loose at impact is what gives him the power. I mean, he consistently drives 300 yards or more on a regular basis. Incredible. As he comes through past impact into extension, you will see that he still keeps his face quite back and down looking at the ball. So he uses that straight width and power move and keeps that move as much as possible. Incredible flexibility in his hips, in his core, and in his shoulders to achieve that, so that he can actually get that really good compression and hard impact shot, follows through, and he only really almost to 90 degrees out, he is still keeping his head down. Incredible. Different to several others. Dustin Johnson, you saw, moved a little bit more with his body, but Koepka tends to keep that. I don't know whether that's a function of the knee problems he's had, but it certainly works to fantastic effect. At the finish, like all the great golfers, he is very straight and upright, eyes facing the ball, belly button facing the target, weight completely on the front foot, left up on his toes. A really nice, classic finish, just like Dustin Johnson. No wonder they're two of the greats. Well, I hope this quick tour de table of Dustin Johnson and Brooks Koepka recently gives you a few things to look at, think about, perhaps emulate piece by piece, and even do some core and improved exercises to achieve a little bit towards some of what they are doing, including increasing your swing speed, subject that I've covered in an earlier clip, and I'll put a link to. Happy golfing, my friends. See you on the flip side. Do subscribe, it really helps. Do stick a like, put those notifications on. Lots more to come. Fast and furious clips, lots of reviews on little tools and aids that will help you in different parts of your game.